In this bulletin, a new church is established in Christchurch following a successful series of Bible prophecy lectures. A large Bible containing 66 languages comes to the South Pacific as it travels the world. And every prisoner in a Vanuatu jail asks for a personal copy of the Bible. This is InFocus News. Hello, thanks for joining me. I'm David Gibbons. A brand new church that opened in the Christchurch CBD 2 weeks ago is already bursting at the seams. The Garden City Fellowship was formed following a Bible prophecy series taken by Adventist evangelist Leo Screven. Organisers booked a venue seating 200 people for the new congregation, but 300 people turned up for the first week. 25 people have already been baptised as church members following the prophecy series. And this number will grow considerably because about 150 new people have begun attending other Adventist churches in Christchurch. Similar meetings are planned for the New Zealand cities of Invercargill and Nelson. And still in Christchurch, New Zealand, 135 Seventh-day Adventists have voted to sell the church's former Cambridge Terrace headquarters in Christchurch. They plan to purchase a new investment property and use the income from that to employ additional pastors and evangelists in the city. The man who speaks on 7,000 radio stations worldwide and is heard by 220 million people every day in 164 countries has resigned as chairman of the organisation he founded more than 30 years ago. James Dobson, aged 72, has told Focus on the Family's 950 employees that he wants to lighten his administrative responsibilities. He'll continue to host Focus on the Family's flagship radio program, write a monthly newsletter and speak out on moral issues. His wife Shirley has also stepped down as a director of the Focus on the Family board. The Seventh-day Adventist Church is sending a most unusual Bible around the world in an effort to encourage members to read the Scriptures. It's a bit like the Olympic torch relay. The giant Bible is taking 18 months to travel around the world. Each of this Bible's 66 books is printed in a different language. The tour will conclude at the Adventist Worldwide Convention in Atlanta, USA in July next year.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church operates in more countries than any other Protestant churches, and that is why each book is in a different language.
The Bible has started touring the South Pacific, starting its journey in Papua New Guinea. In the next 6 weeks, it will travel to 14 countries in the South Pacific, including New Zealand and Australia. Australian Christian women have been asked to help write Bible study guides to be launched together with a new Women's New International version of the Bible. A number of authors have written 365 daily devotions, 10 articles on women of the Bible, 16 articles on life issues, and an article on the genealogy of Jesus. Bible Society in Australia and the Christian women's organisation CWCI are launching the new Bible in New South Wales, South Australia and Western Australia during March. The NIV Women's Devotional Bible will be distributed in Australia, New Zealand, the South Pacific, South Asia and Africa. The Malaysian government is moving to reinstate a ban on Christian publications using the word Allah to refer to God. The change came in the wake of protests from Islamist groups who said that the lifting of the ban last month would confuse Muslims. The dispute over the use of the word Allah has become symbolic of increasing religious tensions in Malaysia, with minority religions claiming they are discriminated against by the Muslim-dominated government. 60% of the country's 27 million inhabitants are Muslim Malays, and a third are ethnic Chinese and Indian, many of whom practice Christianity. A Seventh-day Adventist volunteer in Vanuatu has come up with a plan to give Bibles away to prisoners. Sophie Joseph has visited inmates in Vanuatu jails for some time and recently asked Australians to donate Bibles for him to give away. Pictured here is Australian Leif Fraunfelder, who donated 45 Bibles, paid for by himself, only 6 hours before he was killed in a car accident in Brisbane, Australia. Mr. Joseph, who works with Volunteers in Action, took the Bibles to the prisons, and to his surprise, every prisoner took a Bible. Sophie visits the jails every Sunday to help the prisoners understand their Bibles better. More and more teenagers are getting pregnant in Britain, according to a new report from the Office of National Statistics. This means the government will almost certainly miss its target to halve teen pregnancy rates by 2010. The news follows a couple of high-profile teenage pregnancy cases featuring new parents as young as 13. It is estimated that during 2008 there were more than 42,900 conceptions in the under 18 age group. And the under 16 conception rates also increased, with nearly 8,200 pregnancies in that age group. The organisation, which has produced science films supporting the Bible for the past 40 years, has now joined forces with a children's animator. The Moody Bible Institute is partnering with Phil Vischer, co-founder of the popular Veggie Tales. Vischer says the kids know all about recycling and global warming, but have no exposure to science as a tool to actually support the Bible. Vischer and Moody will produce films for jellytelly.com, described as an online mini Nickelodeon for Christian kids. Tithe envelopes for kids were launched in French Polynesia this week. The envelopes are printed in black and white so that children can colour them in. Kylie Ward, the children's ministry leader for the New Zealand Pacific region, says that the ready-to-colour pictures teach kids how to be careful with their time and money and to give some back to God.
We were thinking about doing children's tithe envelopes, and one of the ladies in the accounts department said, "Why would you do that? The kids will just scribble on them." And I thought, oh, hey, there's a good idea. Why don't we make them so the kids can scribble on them?
There are 6,000 French-speaking Seventh-day Adventists in French Polynesia and New Caledonia. An English version of the kids' tithe envelopes will be launched in coming months. That's the InFocus news for this week. Thanks for watching. I'm David Gibbons.